Hello and welcome to the Youth Agenda Show. I am Alia Maureen. Today we're going to discuss about the impact of social media in our society. And I'm going to quote A.J. Martin's words. He once said that social media, it's more of a dialogue, it's not a monologue, and it's more of a phone conversation than a television conversation. Today I am joined by one and only Stephen Machua, a very young man who is very radical in giving back to the society, and the MD of Afro Media. So tune in today as we discuss about wise decisions that we can make on social media, what to post, what time to post, and generally on the positive side and the negative side of social media. So Stephen, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me in this particular show.
You're welcome. Now tell us about Afro Media and what you guys do.
Okay. Let me start by first appreciating the fact that I'm in this space because at some point this information will end up on social media.
Exactly.
And it's one of the biggest revolution we've had in the information and communication sector. Just to start from the aspect of Afro Media, it's a digital media company whereby we do digital media trainings for individuals and corporates. We also do social media for events whereby we cover the event live as it happens, and whatever message is coming out from there, probably a conference or a meeting, we're able to project it to the general public or the world, people who wouldn't physically make it to the event. So those are our two major areas or two major services at Afro Media.
And what is the greatest achievement that you guys have made so far as Afro Media?
We've managed to get some of the biggest clients, including media houses, and we've also gone to several UN agencies whereby we've opened up the structure to more of get the information out there to people who never thought they would get some or a certain form of information from a corporate.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Now, viewers, there's always this question of the tips, what to post on social media and what not to post on social media. So, Stephen Machua, I want you to help us and tackle on the tips of handling social media and tips on what to post on social media.
I think I would start with the basic. You are what you post. You are what you post, and this goes a long way in who or what do you want people to know you for. When you're signing up on Facebook or on Twitter or Instagram, which kind of image do you want to paint about yourself and about probably the kind of business that you're doing? So for me, it's more of the question on what to post is based on what agenda do you want to drive. In this show, we are on youth agenda, and probably at some point you would be pushing this content on social media, and you will definitely be pushing matters youth. So the decision on what to post is based on what agenda do you want to push, and what image do you want to create about yourself and about the cause that you're representing. So for me, I think it's more on a personal decision or organization decision.
Their key objective on what is leading them to post whatever they're posting.
Exactly, the aspect of objective. Do you have an objective when you're going on social media? Because that will guide you in deciding on what to post.
And which are the common mistakes that people do on social media?
I think I would start with the basic one, expecting too much from social media, and this comes in with especially for those people who are in business. I know people who would sign up on Facebook today and they want to make 100 sales because they were told that Facebook has 100 100,000
followers.
Probably a page has 100,000 followers, and they need to understand this aspect of growth. Social media is somewhere. I look at it as a platform where you grow. Remember, the audience, that the people that you normally see on a day-to-day life are the same people who are on social media. So there's that aspect of building trust, building confidence. So people need to probably minimize their expectations when they're signing up on a social media platform, just so that they can ensure that they are able to have that time to grow, have that time to build, and in this case, they'll be able to build the right audience. Let's say your interest, or probably your interest is young people when you're signing up on social media, and maybe young people in politics. So in this case, it would be very necessary for you to probably look at young people who are aspiring to be governors, who are aspiring to be MCAs, and probably add them as your friends.
True.
More than thinking of adding any other person that you come across, because there's a difference between having this friend on Facebook and having a friend who is engaging. That's on Facebook and it cuts across Twitter and other social media platforms. The aspect of engagement. Do you just have people for the sake? Yeah. So that's why I'm saying the aspect of taking time, at least studying why you want. That's why I mentioned about objective, having an objective. That's number one.
That's the key objective.
Key objective on why you're signing up. Number two, we are talking of expectations. Are you taking time to understand why you're signing up? Because that will help you in coming up with the results that you want to expect from measurable results within a certain period of time. And then there's that aspect of choosing the right audience. So there's a lot of relationship between the objective and what follows. And for you to avoid the mistakes, I think the first thing that you really need to work on is the objective. Why do you want to sign up? Why do you want to sign up? What kind of people are you targeting? For how long? Or what's your budget? Because all these things spend time and money and resources. So I'm looking at it from, are you gonna sign up on Facebook today and tomorrow you're no longer there, or you're not active? So it's more on. I'll just get to the basic. The objectives, the key thing. Yes, know your objective before you sign up on any social media platform.
And based on the common mistakes that, I'm still on that question, on the common mistakes that people do on social media. There's this, let me say, a habit of posting our personal stuff on social media. For example, our relationships with other people, personal stuff. Is it really advisable to post personal stuff on social media? Or to what extent are you supposed to go when you're posting personal stuff on social media?
I think if you're to look from that angle, I would answer it this way. Look at this scenario. You're getting out on the ground, probably a crowd of 100,000 people, and you have a microphone, and you're broadcasting, I broke up with my girlfriend, or I broke up with my boyfriend, or something. You've ever seen yourself, just imagine of yourself in that scenario. That's the same scenario that happens on Facebook when you're broadcasting this, because we have a lot of people who are watching, who are following on what people are saying online. And remember, especially for young people, you don't have a job. Probably you've just been employed, or you're in a contract. Your bosses are watching. Yeah, your parents are watching. You might think that they are not able to see what you're posting, but you'll be surprised. Probably your aunt, who you think is a .com or is young, can be able to pass the message to your parents. So what I'm looking at is there's no privacy when it comes to social media, and as much as there are privacy settings, the extent to which you can say you've secured your account in terms of privacy, I don't see such a situation coming along. So what I would probably advise is keep your personal things personal. And if it has to go on social media, let it be in a language that will probably not remain direct, not really put the direct message that people can probably understand immediately. Probably something that people will take time to understand. But then at the end of the day, why waste all that time when you can just probably keep your private or personal things personal, and only post what needs to be consumed by the general public. Yeah.
I like, there's a point that you have said, why waste time on posting this stuff? And that leads me to time wastage. Is social media a tool for time wastage? Or how can we use social media in a way that we're not going to waste our time? Which are the best ways for us to be able to use social media but avoid it consuming our precious time?
From the aspect of time, I'm looking at it from a critical point of view, because we have two categories in this as far as time is concerned. The time that you spend when you're logging in and probably posting or thinking through on what to post, and the time that you waste, not wasting, but the time you spend looking through what people are saying or what people are talking about. One, if you have the right audience, then it pays to just probably sit down and see what other people are saying, because some people may be sharing scholarships, others may be sharing job opportunities, others may be sharing business opportunities, others may be sharing motivational aspects. So I think it's a matter of, do you have the right audience? And if you have the right audience, right friends, then it means it pays to be on social media. It pays to be online. When I look at it from the other side, whereby probably you might not be having the right audience, but maybe you're the one who you are approaching it as a marketing tool for your products or services. For me, that I would say, when you're logging in and you're spending that on your product, then I would definitely say you're making good use of social media. So the aspect of time, or the question of time, is basically on what do you do when you sign up, and do you have the right friends or right audience to give you the content that would offer the value for money.
Thank you very much for that. So how are you using your social media? Is it benefiting you, or is it wasting your time? Thank you for being with us until now, and keep on tuning, because after the break, we're going for a short break, but after the break, we're going to discuss how we can use social media to help small businesses and even large businesses to be able to grow. Thank you for being with us. And welcome back. This is the Youth Agenda Show, and I am your host, Alia Maureen. Today we are discussing about the impact of social media on the society and wise decisions to make when you're using social media. So before the break, we had touched a little on how we can be able to use social media in our businesses. And I would like to ask Stephen.
Yes.
Give us the tips of using social media to grow our businesses. That is, if it's a small business, how it can be able to expand. And if it's a big business, how it can be able to even rebrand and become bigger and be able to maintain that position.
Okay. So Thanks a lot for this session. When I look at it from the business, when I look at social media from the business perspective, I see a point where business is able to reach out to customers or potential customers by a single click. But then there are things that they need to do to make sure that they're able to get the right customers. And this is where the aspect of filtering the audience comes in. Probably you may have seen of late people sponsoring posts or promoting posts, paying a certain amount for their posts to be seen by the target audience. That is one way, and it's a tool that most businesses can use. The other one is more on you deciding on, I'm gonna wake up every day and invite friends to like my page, invite friends to follow me, and do all those mentions. If I have a chance to mention about my Facebook page to in a conference or in a meeting, then you see that aspect of broadcasting what you're doing, and it really helps. So it's more of let me say, social media has a chance of increasing the lifetime of the message that you want to push out. If you have a product and you're selling at a certain price, if I tell you right now, there's a high tendency that you might forget, and there's a chance that your neighbor will not know unless you tell the neighbor. But if I post it on social media, you share it on your wall, and probably your neighbor is your friend on Facebook, there's a high probability they're going to see that, and the neighbor can share it to another person, and that's how it works. So there's a replica effect. There's a replica effect when you're marketing on social media, and that's one of the advantage. The other advantage of probably marketing or pushing your business online is the aspect of cutting down cost, whereby if we were to use 1,000 shillings to move from point A to point B, and you decide, I'm not gonna use that 1,000 bob to make a physical meeting, but I'm gonna use that 1,000 bob to probably, or even less than that less than that amount, amount less than that, to push the same product online. There's a high probability you'll reach many people and get a lot of impressions, and out of the impressions, probably you might get probably 10 sales, as opposed to that one sale that you would have got from probably moving. So I'm just giving a case scenario of how you can be able to reduce your advertising cost.
Through social media?
Yeah, through social media.
So I'll say that social media is like a revolution that we can no longer avoid.
I mean, it's here to stay. It's not something it's not something that we are going to see today and think that tomorrow it won't be there.
And then it's gone. It's becoming bigger.
It's becoming bigger, and it's interesting because my business at Afro Media is purely based on social media. If social media didn't exist, then I wouldn't have been able to create employment. I wouldn't have been able to own a company. So it's a big thing. The question is, how do we optimize on its presence, and how do we make the right steps towards it?
Thank you for that. And let me go. We have discussed about business. We have discussed about how young people can be able to use social media in a wise way, and some of the common mistakes that people make on social media. I want you to, if for example, I'm taking this scenario whereby I am a parent and I have a young kid who is soon becoming a teenager, and I can no longer avoid or prevent him or her from going into social media. unless I take away the phone. And even if I take away the phone, this kid will still be able to go into social media. Which are the key lessons that I have to teach my child on proper usage of social media to avoid my child who is now a teenager from being affected negatively by social media?
I think it starts from the basic question on, as a parent, why did you in the first place buy the gadget for the kid?
This is a kid, a teenager, let me say the age of 18. And this is a kid that is from high school.
Okay.
He's now going to the university,
Okay.
and he needs a phone, of course.
Okay, okay. Now, in this case, I'm looking at it from the parent playing an advisory role, and it's more on telling or training your teenager on how best they can probably manage Facebook accounts and get get paid for that. There's also that aspect of giving them the right influence, and this starts from, can you probably mention the people they should follow on social media? Can you probably give them the pages probably they should like or they can like? Yeah, you know, it's more on. We can't run away from the aspect of parenting. And when you get to the aspect of social media, the parenting role applies, because the same world they are going to be subjected to in a physical world is the same world they are going to be subjected to in the online world. There you're going to find good people, you're going to find guys who would give you a lot of motivation, and you're going to find bad people as well. So how do you differentiate, or how do you manage to filter or to separate these two people, these two kind of audiences? So I would basically say the parenting role is key, and if the child is gonna get the best out of it, then the back lies on the parent. Yeah.
So we as parents, we have to play a key role on how our children who are now entering into social media, how they're going to be able to handle social media in a very wise way and in a very mature way.
Yeah, true. And it goes to the basics. Like, can you tell them, hey, can you probably manage this page for our company, if a parent owns a company, or even a church youth group. They can create a church youth group where they would be posting Bible verses. You know, that's a positive way of engaging on social media. And this person will grow knowing that, oh, on social media I can actually probably get Bible verses from a certain group, and that inspiration will help him or her look for other pages that has similar content, and over time it becomes a habit. So he will be the positive-minded person. He will grow with that aspect of, wow, when I log into social media, this is what I go out looking for, and that way they're able to grow towards the positive direction. So that's how I would probably put it.
Thank you for that. Wow, we have now come to the end of our show, and I hope that we have all learned on different ways, different positive ways that we can use social media. Because after all, apart from all the negativeness of social media, there's still the positive side of social media. We can still use it to benefit, and we can still use it for our own good, and to be able to even grow our businesses and be able to grow and mature in a very effective way. So Stephen, I'll give you this chance as we close to just give your short remarks, that's your camera, to give your short remarks about social media, just the last remarks that you can give to the whole world outside there.
I think my last remarks to the government of Kenya, we definitely need social media policy, because the aspect of regulations on what people say, or what people, to what extent they need to talk or to say about, we need a regulatory framework that will also guide how people are engaging, because it's becoming a major thing. Another thing I'll tell the outside world is we are here to connect, and we are basically coined in different ways. We have different abilities, we have different talents, and the aspect of myself or another person providing a solution to a challenge that exists in another area can be bridged by the presence of, by the aspect of online presence. There's that aspect of connectivity. The relationship that can be built from a solution provider and probably a problem. So when you're going out there on social media, have an open mind, be ready to learn, be curious, at least explore on what other people are doing around the world, and that way it will be much easier to possibly engage and get the best out of this world. Thank you.
And your contacts, that is for the people like for more information about what you do and more advice on social media, maybe training or conferences or something.
Oh yes, yeah. I think that's very critical. We are currently running digital media trainings within Nairobi every Wednesday at I&M building, 9th floor. We also do corporate trainings on request, and at any case, or in any case that you have an event or a public engagement or a place where you really need a lot of information to get out there to the general public, we are there at your service. As I said, I'm the managing director for Afrom Media. Our website is afrom.co.ke, and the phone contact is 0715 308 415, so we can be able to engage on those platforms and get the best out of it.
Yes. Until next week, see you and God bless you.
Thank you.